Today, members of the U.S. Senate will take up the budget deal worked out between House Republican Paul Ryan and Senate Democrat Patty Murray. As Gary Lane reports, though, the future of the proposal is uncertain.
Members of the Republican-controlled House gave overwhelming approval to the budget plan.
Our job is to find enough common ground to move the ball down the field on behalf of the American people who sent us here to do their work.
But supporters of the deal may need a Hail Mary pass to win in the U.S. Senate. Tea Party members oppose the agreement because it does little to address the issues of entitlements and out-of-control spending. The nation's debt now stands at more than $17 trillion. And there's the increasingly ugly atmosphere in the Senate. Senate Democrats recently invoked the so-called nuclear option, changing Senate rules to prevent Republican filibusters of President Obama's judicial nominees. Republicans responded by slowing down Senate business. Even some Democrats say the nuclear option has poisoned the atmosphere in the higher chamber and created a somewhat dysfunctional, uncooperative Senate. While the budget deal reverses some harsh spending cuts scheduled for 2014 and 2015, it leaves intact most of the roughly $1 trillion in automatic cuts set to hit the military, domestic agencies, and Medicare providers through 2021. Alan Simpson, former Republican senator from Wyoming, said the budget deal is, quote, a sparrow belch in the midst of a typhoon, and he warned if Congress doesn't address health care, quote, if you don't deal with the solvency of Social Security for 75 years, you're failing your country. Bob Bixby of the Bipartisan Concord Coalition said the president calls it a good first step, but to what? One of the main architects of the proposed budget, House Republican Paul Ryan, said Congress will be asked to revise the tax code next year. Appearing on Meet the Press Sunday, Ryan defended the deal.
And I know what I think is the right thing to do. Getting a budget agreement that reduces the deficit without raising taxes and prevents two government shutdowns from occurring in 2014, in my opinion, is the right thing to do.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid says he expects a vote within the next several days. That way, he says, members of the U.S. Senate can return home for Christmas. But Bixby says if it passes, few Americans will be excited. He says it'll be a little bit like a child bringing home a D on a report card instead of an F. Gary Lane, CBN News.